stop. In 1987, an entire Brazilian city was poisoned. Not by a bomb, not by war, but by a glowing blue powder. People thought it was beautiful. Children played with it. Families kept it inside their homes. No one knew. They were holding one of the deadliest radioactive materials on Earth. This is the Goiânia radiation disaster.
Goiânia, the most beautiful thing that ever killed people. In 1987, in the middle of Brazil, a little girl found something beautiful. It was glowing bright blue, soft, shimmering, almost magical. She thought it looked like fairy dust, so she did what most children would do. She played with it. She showed it to her friends. She even spread it on her skin. Within weeks, she would be dead, and that glowing powder would trigger one of the worst radioactive disasters in modern history. This is the story of how an entire city was poisoned by something that looked beautiful in the dark.
The city of Goiânia was living a normal day. Cars moving, kids playing in the streets, people working, but hidden inside an abandoned hospital. Something deadly was waiting. Not a bomb, not a weapon. A glowing blue powder. Beautiful, mysterious, and powerful enough to poison an entire city. This is the story of one of the worst radioactive accidents in human history. And it all started with two scrap collectors looking for metal. Once a place of healing, now abandoned. Broken walls, rusty machines, dust everywhere. For years, the building sat there, forgotten. But for people who survived collecting scrap metal, abandoned buildings meant opportunity. Two men entered the ruins looking for anything they could sell. Copper, iron, steel, anything. Then they found it.
But before we continue, take a moment, because stories like this are real, and they remind us how fragile our world can be. If you want to see more true stories like this, stories about mysterious disasters, hidden history, and events the world should never forget, make sure to subscribe to the channel and leave a like on this video. It helps these stories reach more people. Now, let's continue the story, because what happened next was even worse.
A massive medical machine, heavy, industrial, old, but valuable. To them, it looked like treasure. They had no idea. They had just discovered a nuclear time bomb. It weighed hundreds of kilos. But scrap metal meant money, so they pushed, pulled, struggled. Finally, they opened the machine. Inside, a small metal capsule, hidden under layers of lead. It looked ordinary, but inside that capsule was cesium-137, one of the most dangerous radioactive materials used in medicine. The men didn't know. They broke it open, and what fell out was a strange white powder. The powder looked harmless, like salt, like chalk, just dust. But when night came, something unbelievable happened. The powder began to glow, a deep blue light, soft, hypnotic, beautiful. It looked magical, like something from another world. Word spread fast. Neighbors came to see it. Children touched it. Adults held it. Some even rubbed it on their skin. They thought it was something special, a glowing treasure. But the glow wasn't magic. It was radiation. Through houses, through buses, through the streets of Goiânia, and no one had any idea. Nausea, vomiting, dizziness. Doctors thought it was a virus, but things got worse, much worse. Hair falling out, skin burning, bodies shutting down, until someone finally discovered the truth. Radiation, a 6-year-old girl. Her name was Lady das Neves Ferreira. She had been fascinated by the glowing powder. She played with it, spread it on her skin, even mixed some with food. Inside her tiny body, the radiation was destroying everything, cell by cell. Days later, she died. Her story became the symbol of the Goiânia disaster. Panic spread through the city. Special teams arrived in protective suits, Geiger counters clicking constantly, searching every street, every house, every object. Over 110,000 people were tested for contamination, and the cleanup had only just begun. More than 6,000 tons of radioactive waste had been collected. All of it dangerous, all of it deadly. So, the government buried it in a special site in Abadia de Goiás, sealed in concrete, buried underground, because cesium-137 will remain dangerous for nearly 200 years. It did not come from a nuclear explosion. It came from something much simpler: abandonment, ignorance, curiosity, a beautiful blue light that no one knew was deadly.
More than 100,000 people had been examined for radiation exposure. Hundreds were contaminated. Several died, including the little girl who had loved the glowing powder. Today, the Goiânia accident is remembered as one of the worst radioactive disasters in history outside of a nuclear power plant. And the most chilling part of the story is how it began. Not with an explosion, not with a reactor meltdown, not with a war, but with curiosity and something beautiful, glowing softly in the dark. If you enjoy strange, dark, and mysterious stories that are completely real, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because the world is full of stories like this one. Stories that sound impossible, but actually happened.